It's shocking. You'd have thought at some stage both the county council and the government said this has to be done.
Yeah.
The leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey, has urged education ministers to get on with construction of a new Tiverton High School. Sir Ed and Tiverton and Honiton MP Richard Foord toured the school today, meeting pupils and staff, as well as seeing for himself some of the crumbling walls and waterlogged facilities. In December, it was announced that the school would receive funding from the government's 10-year school rebuilding programme, with the current site set for the bulldozer and replaced with a new premises away from the current location in a floodplain. But questions still remain on the costs and plans for any future proposals.
During the by-election, Richard said he would work hard to try to get the cash to rebuild this school because it really does need massive investment. I've been seeing it on a tour today, roofs falling in, leaking, buildings frankly that are well past their sell-by date. And while he's got the promise of extra cash out of government ministers, there's still been no detail. We don't know how much, we don't know when. And part of my message here, as part of our local election campaign here in Devon, is to say to Conservative ministers, come on, answer the questions. The head teacher here, the pupils, the community want answers, and Liberal Democrats and Richard Foord are determined to get them.
13 years now since the Building Schools Future Fund was axed. Why do you think it's taken the government so long to actually find the funding finally for a new school, despite it not actually going through any planning application or having any spades in the ground yet?
Well, I think Conservative education secretaries, and we've had a lot of them, have really not paid attention to the needs of Devon and here the young students here in Tiverton. And it's taken Richard Foord, a Liberal Democrat MP, to bang the drum and to go on and on about it until force an answer out of the Conservative government. But we still want other questions answered. We want to know when, we want to know how much. It's not these are reasonable questions. They're not crazy questions. These are practical, common sense questions. And it's about time the Conservatives came up with some answers.
And while there has been an announcement about funding for schools, we don't actually yet know when Tiverton High School might receive some additional spending on buildings. We know there's been an announcement, but that announcement is for funding over a period of 5 years. So we, both Ed and I, are going back to Westminster to demand that funding happens as early as possible so that Tiverton can see a new high school.
You've been touring the school today. What are your impressions of it as it is at the moment?
Much as I remember it to have been on the several times that I've visited in recent months. Great pupils, fantastic teachers, good ethos, shabby buildings. The fabric of the place is falling apart, and where other schools have been invested in, this school really has missed out and is desperately in need of support and investment.
Wow! Yeah. What a great space. Have you been to acting here?
No, but they had the Sound of Music on.
The Sound of Music.
January.
Hills are alive.
Yeah, the whole school.
Tiverton High School say they were pleased to welcome Sir Ed to the school and hope he will take back the message that a new facility is desperately needed for the town.
Well, it's the first time that we've had a leader of a political party at the high school, but we're always pleased to talk to anybody who will talk about Tiverton High School and what a great place it is and how deserving it is of a rebuild.
Just what do you hope he takes back with him to Parliament in Westminster?
Well, I think he should take back that it's a great place for children to be educated. They have a great experience here. They do well, go on to do great things. But they could do even better if they had some really good buildings and an inspiring environment.
We had the announcement of funding for a school recently, but where are we in terms of actually getting something built?
Well, I wish I could tell you that, Lewis. The process is a little bit vague at the moment. We understand we're one of a cohort of 239 schools to be rebuilt over the next 5 years, but we're not clear exactly where we are in that process.
Pupils from the school also had the chance to show why a new building is vital for future generations.
I think it's extremely important. Obviously, we've got siblings or people that we just know, and it being an asset to the community as well, with like sports events happening at the school, just boosting those and the theatre and the ability to put on even more productions, I think that would be really good.
And just how challenging is it sometimes to work in a school which is, as we've seen in the past, crumbling around you, has been described?
Well, it's been okay for the most part. Sometimes we do find challenges trying to fit enough students in classrooms, trying to provide enough facilities physically to support every student. But we've made do with what we've got, but it really just isn't enough anymore.
With an unexpected by-election thrusting the need for a new Tiverton High School into the media spotlight last year, the Lib Dems are saying it was their historic by-election victory that has led the Conservatives to include THS in the school rebuilding programme. The Conservatives, however, will say that the proposed funding is all thanks to them. And with local elections and a general election not far away, this political hot potato will continue to be debated for some time yet. But whatever the outcome, let's hope that the spades will soon be in the ground and Tiverton will finally get a new school it definitely deserves. Lewis Clark, Devon Live, Tiverton.